What's up, guys? Welcome to Tempe Creek, where we talk about farming, vineyard, and winery management. And today we're going to be talking about cheap equipment. Where do you get it and what do you need? First things first, let's talk about bottles. These guys. For home brewers or home winemakers, this is probably one of your biggest expenses, is when you go to bottle your wine. Typically, if you're just buying them online on Amazon, you're going to probably pay like $1.50 for each one, thereabouts, right? I can tell you how much I pay for bottles, and that is about 50 cents a bottle. I buy them in mass bulk and big shipments, and so I'm able to reduce the price that much. I don't expect most of you guys at home to be able to do this because it's just not feasible, right? I'm buying like over 2,000 bottles in one go. But one place you can get really cheap bottles, maybe even free bottles, is look for your vineyards, or really small vineyards, big vineyards. It doesn't even really matter, to see if they have any extra bottles laying around. Typically, we go through several cases in a weekend, and so we have a lot of these bottles laying around. Personally, we hate to just like toss them, and so we actually do keep them until we offer them up on Facebook Marketplace or wherever, and then have some random person come and they collect the bottles. However, if someone were to offer me, I don't know, 20 cents, 25 cents a bottle, I would make sure to store these bottles in a better spot, hold them for that person, and then once a month or however often that they wanted to come in, I would have bottles ready for them for that 20-25 cents. And so you could get a whole case for $2.50, and I'd be more than happy to be able to like hold the bottles for someone else. Another thing you can do is just offer to buy some actual wine, like one of these guys, some actual wine from the winery, and then that would actually more than make up for whatever you're gonna do anyway. So not only do you get your bottles, you get a bottle of wine too. I mean, how can you beat that, right? All right, the next thing we're gonna talk about is bigger equipment. All right, when you're ready to upgrade, doesn't matter if you're a homemaker, you are a very enthusiastic winemaker, or you are a small vineyard or a big vineyard, this is gonna be true no matter what. Basically, what you want to do when you are ready to upgrade, whether it's a tank like one of these guys, or maybe it is a bottling line, whatever it is you're looking to upgrade, I would contact again vineyards, especially small vineyards. All right, and this is why. As when small vineyards start off, their equipment is made for smaller batches. And as they grow out of that equipment, especially tanks. And so they upgrade to bigger and bigger and bigger tanks. But they don't just, obviously they're not going to throw away their old tanks. But what those old tanks do, they take up valuable space in their winery, which is a limited amount of space. It doesn't matter how big you are, you have a finite amount of tank space because your building or whatever it is that you have is finite, right? So if you have a bunch of small tanks, they take up quite a bit of space. And so what you could do is the same thing. Call up, don't just show up, call up, ask if they have any tanks for sale, or any tanks they want to get rid of, and you might be surprised what you might find. And actually, I wouldn't even just stop with wineries. I would actually go ahead and call breweries, because a lot of the equipment actually is double fold. You can use it for either or. Brewers have an extra process and some extra equipment, but for winemaking, all we need is a tank, and so there you go. And I actually got this tank right here from a brewery for very little, for $100, and then it's worth way more than that, and I've been using that actually to make our wine. And so there you go. That's how we upgraded our tank space. We're almost to the point where we're going to upgrade again. But this is a quality tip, guys. Call your old vineyards, because everyone is always upgrading and you're just following someone else's path, and so that you can take their stuff when they're done with it. And another reason a winery is and a brewery is willing to sell their equipment, obviously, is the tanks taking up space, but there's a less emotional attachment, I think, to this equipment, because even if it's a big purchase, we got a lot of value out of that. Whereas if you're a homemaker and you spend about $1,500, $2,000, $5,000 on a really big, nice tank, you're gonna feel more attachment to that because you need to get all that value. Where wineries, they get value back almost immediately as they're making their wine. And so check out wineries, guys, to be upgrading your equipment. And so that's my tip of the day for you guys. If I helped you guys out at all, please help us out by subscribing to our channel to help us grow and so that we can bring you more content on farming, viticulture, and winemaking. Thanks, guys.